What's up, everyone? James back again for another UFC predictions video. This time, UFC Qatar Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker. Excited for this fight. It's a pretty good one. We'll get into it, but first, as always, we go over what happened last week and how we did the prior card. Of course, luckily enough, we did pretty good. It was actually a really good card for us. UFC 322, which is an awesome card besides the main and co-main, but I wouldn't even think those fights were that bad, to be honest. But we'll get into those. For the first fight of the night, what did I have? What was the first thing I bet on the night? I have so many bets I put on this card. Not those ones. Is it? It's not Ethan Ewing. Sabatini? Or is it Dawkins? Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna spend too much time thinking about it. Oh no, it might have been Fatima. The biggest bet of the card, Fatima Klein. That was my first bet of the night. I love Fatima in this spot against what's her name, Angela Hill. I loved her here, and I think she more than covered what she was at, like the line. She looked incredible. I was getting worried at the end of round 2. I was like, oh shoot, is she starting to gas? Is she starting to slow down? Round 3 comes right back out. It was even better pace than she did round 2. It was incredible. Fatima Klein's the truth. I think the secret's kind of out now. She's just going to keep beating these girls, and she's very much world championship material. She is the goods. She has everything you want in a fighter. Came close to finishing, but easily dominated. Like, what a win by Fatima Klein. I know Angela Hill's kind of older, but to rinse her that bad, I think that's impressive. Like, Lucindo just popped. If you didn't hear, like, just popped recently. So it's like, and she didn't even like put like that much like damage onto Hill like Fatima did, man. Fatima's the goods. Watch out for her. I think she's a future world champion. Next fight I had a bet on, probably Kyle Dawkins versus Gerald Meerschaert, or it might be whatever. I had this fight ends by sub. This is a great bet. I thought this fight would go back to Dawkins, going back to his sub ways, and yeah, it's absolutely right. That's what happened. Yeah, like he hurt GM3 bad. He's so done durability wise, and then instead of really following up a bunch of shots, locked in the Darce. Thing of beauty. That was that. It was pretty easy. I honestly was a little skeptical of like if he goes in like that, like maybe if GM3 survives, it could get a little dicey, but GM3 didn't survive, so yeah, that was that. I forgot. I knew I was forgetting a fight. So yeah, that was that. That was pretty easy. Another fight I had to bet on. I've totally forgot. Susarkayev. I bet on Susarkayev to win by like KO, as well as just put him in the parlay for Degen's sake. I knew there was no way in hell he was losing. Absolutely, I mean, he didn't lose. I thought he was winning the whole time, but I will say I thought he looked pretty bad against McConaughey, where you shouldn't be. It shouldn't be happening where you're getting held up against him. But Susarkayev, he's a nasty striker, and he just landed the better shots each round. He was clearly winning. I know people were like even being very skeptical about him, but he was clearly winning the whole time, in my opinion. Like I don't think McConaughey won a single round. I didn't think it was particularly close. But was it a good look? Nah, absolutely not, because McConaughey is not great. Not a great fighter by any means. I mean, he's a good fighter, but he's got problems that hold him back because he doesn't have much volume, and his chin isn't very good. And those hold him back so much, because otherwise he'd be pretty all right. But I mean, Susarkayev wasn't able to capitalize till round 3, and he gets a nasty KO. It was always going to be KO. It was not going to be sub. Gets him out of there. It was good stuff from Susarkayev. So yeah. The next fight I had a bet on, I believe, was Pat Sabatini to beat Mariscal. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Finally, Chepe loses. Finally. Oh my goodness. This was so annoying. How he kept winning over and over and over. But it is what it is. Man, Pat Sabatini looked great. Able to hold it, like, brought back, got redemption, and is able to get Mariscal down, do what he needed to do. It was beautiful stuff. I mean, what's there to say? Great win by Pat Sabatini. Next fight I had to bet on, I believe, it had to be Ethan Ewing over Malcolm Wallmaker. There was no way in hell I was letting this fade go away from Cody Haddon, because I was super duper, not super duper confident, but I was confident Cody Haddon would win. But I didn't put too much on Ewing because of the circumstances, and you'll see in my Tapology, I pick Wallmaker because I mean I'm gonna pick the guy who had a lot of notice to win this fight. But as like Ethan Ewing's not necessarily like a bum. Not like I had the chance to even convey that, other than putting these bets in. He's pretty good though. From you can see in this fight, and I have to give credit to Wallmaker because man, that guy is tough. He is durable. I can't not say that now because man, this dude is tough as nails. So I mean, he's gonna be a really tough guy to finish. But Ethan Ewing, great display. Like I thought he looked incredible. I would love to see him fight something like Victor Henry next. That would be a banger. I mean, I wasn't gonna bet against Ewing at the guard. That's all I'm gonna say. So I mean, bets I had on this fight were like fight ends in round 2, fight ends in round 3, and Ethan Ewing money line. I got the round 2 and 3 wrong, but the money line hit, so I made a little bit of profit. It would have been nice if there was a round 2 or 3 KO either way. Would have been more profitable, but I'm literally not that mad. Not mad at it at all. So yeah. Next fight I had to bet on, I believe, was Aaron Blanchfield to beat Tracy Cortez. Again, we got him. Another rematch that goes the way of the person who lost the first time. Yeah, Tracy was lighting up Aaron to begin with, but it was only leading up to the drowning. Aaron Blanchfield is a drowner in this division, and she absolutely drowned Tracy Cortez, and she couldn't do no more and got put on top, and she got on top and found a way to get a beautiful sub. Great stuff from Aaron Blanchfield. She cashed this for us. Beautiful stuff. The next fight I had a bet on, I believe, was Bo Nickel. I had money on Bo Nickel to win, and I had money in Bo Nickel over 2.5. 8 seconds off. 8 seconds off. We were so close. But Bo Nickel looked great. This is the best performance he's had in the UFC, in my opinion. I mean, maybe Bob Woodburn, but I mean, this is an all right guy at least. Rodolfo is not that great. Never been that great, to be honest. And like Bo worked him, but I have to say, we saw more willingness to wrestle, which I liked. Really liked that from Bo Nickel, and I thought there was more versatility on the feet in his attacks, which was really good to see. Because I mean, it was going to take much for him to do that. But he showed more abilities on the feet, not just because of the head. I would have said this even if he didn't get the head kick KO. Like it's not just an overhand anymore, which is such a good thing to see because he was so limited in the past. He can actually somewhat strike now. Not necessarily the best striker, but he's still young. He's still getting better. But Nickel's good, man. It's good. I thought he really showed himself out. So shout out Bo Nickel. Next fight I had to bet on Benoit Saint Denis versus Beneil Dariush. Benoit Saint Denis came through. It made it look pretty easy. Got the KO. Yeah, it was go work at the office for Saint Denis. I mean, what's there to say? Just Beneil got a good leg kick. Then BSD gets up. They start throwing in the clinch, and one gets put out. There's now a just pull away from this fight. BSD hits hard. And Beneil Dariush's chin is done. As simple as that. So, yeah, Nicholas Ott, best coach in MMA, by the way. The next fight I had to bet on, it's this one. Leon Edwards versus Carlos Pratas. It hurts my soul because he was winning. He was winning, Leon. If he kept the game plan of wrestling and just do that, I feel like in round 2 he really got like put on to. Like, got talked from Prates. It's like, yeah, what now? And he gets put out. Oh, Leon. It is what it is. I'm not mad at the bet at all. I thought Leon was looking great in the fight until he got caught. Yeah. I mean, I'm calling him welterweight Chito Prates. And that's not to be disrespectful. I know he's got, like, really good accolades in terms of, like, Muay Thai. That sense. He's, like, a really nasty striker. But in terms of, like, not necessarily being the highest kind of volume guy. kind of get wrestled. I think that can absolutely be a thing we can say now. If Leon can do that, I'm sure a lot of the top guys in this division absolutely can do that. We can get wrestled and grappled. And if you don't win big moments, you're not going to win the fight. So I think that's like a fair comparison, to be honest with you. Cheeto fought for a title, so I'm not gonna. That's not like it's necessarily like being super disrespectful, even though Cheeto's been not so great lately. But if you're not getting those KOs and stuff like that, you're not getting those finishes, and not getting knockdowns and stuff like that, it's gonna be tough. But man, I mean, that was a sick finish for Prates. That was a sick finish from Prates. Sad my boy Leon had to go out like that. When in a fight, I thought he looked amazing in. So yeah. Next fight I had a bet on. What was it? I don't think I had a bet on Brady. I'm pretty sure I didn't have a bet. And I said I wouldn't bet Brady. Good. Thank God. Next fight I had a bet on Valentina Shevchenko to beat Zhang Weili. I should have put more. Valentina looked incredible. And it's exactly how I thought it would. Size matters, especially in women's MMA. Size matters. And Valentina Shevchenko absolutely proved that. Everything she threw on the feet, not everything, but like a lot of the things she threw on the feet was just more meaningful than Zhang Weili's. It's more meaningful. She's a 115 girl. Valentina Shevchenko is a 125 girl who fought 135er. Manuel Figueroa is basically a 135er. Put some respect on Manuel Figueroa's name. She is so damn good. She's so damn good. Yeah, like the size difference was just night and day in my opinion, and even if they didn't look like that in face-offs, it's going to show in the fight. And yeah, pretty easy win for Valentina Shevchenko. She's one of the greatest of all time, easily, if not the greatest. And I think you can absolutely make that argument, because you can argue she won one of, if not maybe even both of those Nunes fights, which are really close, and she's like the smaller girl, and I mean her reign's pretty insane. Valentina Shevchenko, I'm willing to say she's the GOAT. I'm willing to say it. So this is a really good win. Shout out to Valentina Shevchenko. The next fight I had a bet on Jack Della Maddalena beat Islam Makhachev. Islam worked him. It didn't go how I thought it would, because I thought, yeah, Islam's probably gonna work him early. It's probably gonna be like that. But JDM, as the fight goes on, and as you keep scrambling and stuff like that, Islam's gonna get tired and he's gonna land the big shots. And like weight classes matter. Well, Islam Makhachev is absolutely a one-sided guy. Like he fits in pretty well with the weight class. And JDM really just wasn't able to scramble well. Why? His leg was dead. Islam Makhachev destroyed his leg. He couldn't do anything. He was grimacing the whole fight, and it's like, oh, well, that's not happening. So I mean, honestly, props to Islam. He looked incredible, and he absolutely can probably beat a lot of these 170 guys. It's just like maybe like some of the really big dudes. It's like, oh, it might be a question. But Islam is pound for pound number one, probably. He's one of the best in the world. Islam is that dude. So yeah, props to the Islam Makhachev for easily winning. So yeah, that's that for the pick standpoint, or excuse me, the bet standpoint. But in terms of picks, we can pull that up really quickly. Give me a second. I don't know why I don't have this already prepared, because I usually do that. Here we go. Coming right up. So 10 of 14 predictions, not too bad. In terms of other fights, Camilo, Borshev. Honestly, I thought Borshev won this fight. I thought Borshev won this fight. I didn't think Camilo really did anything besides like round one doing really good. Like he does have a little bit of a gas problem. I don't think that no surgery fixed anything. So I thought Borshev won this fight. Landing the better shots, and I didn't think Camilo did enough damage to necessarily win this fight. So I thought Borshev was robbed, if I'm being honest. Other fights: Gregory Rodriguez versus Roman Kopylov. Rodriguez looked great. RoboCop looked incredible in this fight, and I think he really got Kopylov. Like, he couldn't do much because he was too scared of the takedown threat, and like if the fight hits the ground, it could be over like this. And I feel bad for the RoboCops by sub people, because I like he had something latched in. It wasn't meant to be. But RoboCop looked incredible. I think And Sean Brady versus Michael Morales is too big. Like this dude is too big. Sean Brady, I think he should have probably shot still, even if he was out of range, because like he was never gonna win the fight as he was. Even though Michael Morales, again, I know he was keeping range so well that Brady couldn't really shoot. Man, shout out Michael Morales. This dude's a freaking stud. Happy I didn't bet against him. So Sean Brady, like, I mean, didn't really have much of an answer for it. So yeah, that's that. Let's get into this Qatar card, which I'm very excited about. A lot of good fights on this card. So we'll get into it. I haven't looked up how to say this guy's name. Marek Bujilo, a Polish name, versus Denzel Friedman. I'm going to go Denzel Friedman. I don't think Marek is that great, to be honest. From what I've seen in tape, it reminds me a lot of Max Jimenez tape, and I went against can't speak. Jimenez pretty large against Oh my god, I cannot speak. Pretty large against Hokit. But Denzel doesn't give me the vibes that's like he's gonna be like super. I'm gonna be super confident. I'm not betting this fight. But I think Denzel Friedman probably just a better guy. I think the odds reflect that. Like I mean, if Marek can't get a takedown or anything like that, I think he's kind of cooked. I think Freeman's wrestling is good enough to keep this fight on the feet. If not, get a takedown of his own. And I don't even know what Marek's going to look like if this fight's on the ground. But I'm not too interested in betting this fight. So give me Freeman, but pass for me. Nurilo Aliyev versus Shakman. It's Shamrock. It's Shamrock. I call this guy Shamrock. Everyone calls him Shamrock. I'm going to go Aliyev by decision. I'll tell you what, though. This dude's not to be trusted, Aliyev. Not to be trusted. I think he's due to lose to pretty much anyone. I wouldn't be shocked if it's Shamrock here. I'd only be looking at something like plus 3.5 Shamrock, which I think is pretty live, to be honest with you. If you're asking me. Which I think is like all right odds. Because I think he can absolutely find a way to get a back take. Some dumb thing can happen, like in the Solecki fight with Aliyev, which he didn't look that great in either, by the way. Like, I think he can, like, some back take or what else? Like, I mean, maybe even hurt him on the feet, although I'm probably not going to take much place on the feet. Maybe a sweep from Shamrock could be something he can get. Like a sweep and he's on top and that's the round. You can get one round. I absolutely think he can get one round. So I don't think the plus 3.5 is a terrible look at all. But I mean, if you're asking me how this fight plays out, Aliyev gets on top, stays safe. That's the fight. That's probably the fight with some dicey moments in there. That's what I think. Kind of want nothing to do with this other than maybe a plus 3.5 Shamrock, possibly, or a finish only Shamrock. I think those are all right looks. So that or pass. Although I would say Shamrock's a little bit chinny, a little bit. So it's a little dicey with that. But I do think he's the guy with more finishing upside here. Give me Aliyev, though. I do think he wins. Ryan Loder versus Ismail Nardiev. Give me Loder, man. Nardiev is just, whatever. I don't think he's really, truly a middleweight. I'm not sure what he's doing here other than not wanting to cut weight. I'll tell you what, though. This is probably a better live bet than a pre-bet. Nardiev is going to look levels above Loder on the feet. I mean, Loder is just kind of clueless on the feet. I mean, he came into MMA late. It's a wrestler, kind of what his thing. But the thing is, Nardiev always wrestles. He's just so dumb enough that he could wrestle with Ryan Loder, and if he does, he's gonna get out wrestled. Loder's way better at wrestling in jiu-jitsu than this guy, and he's a way bigger guy. I think if this gets out of round one, Nardiev is a gasser. Loder is probably gonna work him. I don't want to put too much on this. I have a little bit on Loder pre. Let's just say I had Loder pre, but live. If you want to bet Loder, bet it live, because on the feet, man, it's going to be disgusting. If Nardiev has any brain, he should keep this fight on the feet. And he could. I wouldn't be shocked if he does KO Loder in round one, but I do think Loder ultimately gets it done and wins like a decision or 2-3 finish. So that's kind of how I lean. Beksat Almakhan versus Alexander Topuria. I think Topuria is a fraud. I think you can maybe make the case for Bexat, but I think Bexat's impressed me to the point where it's like, okay, I think this guy's kind of legit. Especially after Katona KO, where I was on Katona. I really like Katona there. I never in a million years that I thought he would just get nuked like that. No one does that to Katona. Says this guy has the death touch. I think the death touch is very real for Bexat. I think he can win by that. But I think I haven't seen much from either guy necessarily. I mean, Alexander Topuria looked good against Colby Thickness, but it's Colby Thickness. That's Colby Thickness on super short notice. And people forget, Topuria's manager, like, his manager literally got Colby that opportunity on a 1-fight contract. Like, they set that up all for Topuria to win. Completely. And I didn't even think he looked that good in that fight. Round 1, he looked great. Don't get me wrong, he looked great in that round. He's knocking Colby all over the place. But round 2, I thought Colby was touching him up. Then round 3, Colby not doing as much because he's probably on short notice. Is not able to get up from Topuria. Doesn't really do much at all in round 3 other than just kind of hold him down. I think it's levels of competition. Like, Bexat fought way better guys, in my opinion, than anyone Alexander Topuria's fought. Whether that be Katona and Umar. Dropped Umar. It's kind of crazy. But the Katona fight, I mean, man, nuked him. I like that Bexat's at American Top Team. I think that's really good for the guy. And a lot of guys get a lot better the more time they spend there. He was there at his last camp with for the Katona fight. I like that he's still been there. I think that's a really good sign for Bexat. I like the upside of Bexat. I think this guy could be super legit. I wanted this guy versus Wellmaker. Alas, it didn't happen. That would have been really good. So, I mean, I think Aleem Bexat, I think he's going to get better. I'm not sold on Topuria really being the truth at all. Sure, he looked great in round 1. But, like, what else is there? I have questions about cardio about him. I think you could probably have questions about cardio for Bexat too, but I don't think Topuria really pushes a pace necessarily. Neither does Bexat, to be fair. But like, even Colby wasn't necessarily even pushing a pace on Topuria, and I didn't think it looked super great that fight either. Yeah, give me Almacan. I think he's going to win. I like him here. I haven't bet, so give me Almacan. I'll say probably if you bet either guy underdog, probably good bet either way, but I think Bexat wins this fight. Abdul Rahman versus Abdul Rahman Yakayev versus Rafael Cerqueira. What do you want me to say? Round 1 KO. Like, this guy's here to just lose. That's all this guy Cerqueira is here for. He did all right against Julius Walker, but Julius Walker is super green. This guy is here to get a quick win. That's it. So yeah, it's round 1 KO. It's as simple as that. If he doesn't get a KO, or I finish, should say. If he doesn't get an early finish, I don't even know what to say. I wouldn't necessarily recommend betting that, but I mean, this guy should absolutely just finish this really quickly. Alex Perez versus Asim Amabayev. I'm going to go Amabayev. I'm high on Amabayev, but I'm going to say this might be a tough fight. Like, Alex Perez against wrestlers is not an easy fight pretty much ever. Makaya didn't have an easy time. Tyra doesn't necessarily have an easy time either. I mean, Nicolau got freaking, my goodness, it's worked. I do worry about Asu not necessarily having like the best volume on the feet, and like he shoots takedowns similar to Makayev, and Perez did a good job at stopping them. Asu's pretty relentless though, like Makayev, and Makayev won. Qatar plus some country will help with lean the way towards Asu. So I tread carefully, but I think Asu does win, especially off the surgery Perez just went through after the Tyra fight. Nasty knee injury caused by Tyra, to be fair. It was caused by Tyra. So I lean Asu. I think he's pretty legit. I think the Ochoa one was pretty good. If Alex Perez is not the same guy he was, it should be pretty easy Asu. But if he is the same guy, it will not be easy Asu. And I prefer to be kind of away from this. If I'm gonna bet this fight, it'll be small and maybe in like some sort of parlay, because I like Asu a lot and I think he is the truth. But I do think Asu gets this done. Segid I I watched the video of him winning and won. I can't see this guy's name off the top of my head. Izgakmayev. Izgakmayev versus Dalby. Izagakmayev. I don't know. Versus Dalby. I'm gonna go with Izagakmayev to win, but I don't trust this. I know he has a super long layoff from one. He should be in his prime now. And Dalby's getting like turned into dust as of recent. But I can't help but like think this has a chance to go similar to the Renat fight. Not that they necessarily fight the same, because I think this guy's probably a better striker than Renat. You're not as good as a wrestler. But like I just got like Dalby competes really well, and I don't know how Izgakmayev is going to be able to handle the pace of Dalby, especially if it gets to that point. And I do think this fight probably does go later on in the fight, like it lasts long. So I think over is probably an alright look to bet, perhaps, but I'm not too interested in touching this fight at all. I think it's kind of dog or pass, to be honest. Or if like maybe a finish only Izgakmayev is just fading Dalby's durability. But again, I don't know if I'm assuming that's disgusting chalk, and Dalby maybe has a chance to finish this guy off of volume or in cardio. I want nothing to do with this fight. I think this fight probably goes over, and I guess Izgakmayev should. I think they're bringing him to try and win here against Dalby. But Dalby's a tough out, so yeah, not easy necessarily debut for Izgakmayev. Luke Riley versus Bogdan Grad. I'm going to go Luke Riley. And you know what? I'm going to go decision. I'll give Grad some respect in terms of durability. He's a tough son of a gun. But Riley, I think they're bringing him here to win. And he hits hard. He hits really hard. I will say he does hit hard. And this is the type of matchup he's kind of been facing at Cage Warriors. Am I too interested in betting Luke Riley? No, not really. not really. I'm okay. But well, I mean, I think Grad can make this a fight, and I'm not too interested in being part Luke Riley train, because Grad is tough. He's willing to be in there in fights and push through. Riley absolutely can dead Grad, but I think that'll be tough. It's very possible though, because I know Riley is pretty heavy-handed. I'm not as high on Luke Riley as other people are, but I think he's pretty legit. But not like he's special. Like, I think he's pretty good, but I don't know. But I do think he gets the win here. I think he hits the harder shots in this fight. Grad's pretty hittable himself as well. But I mean, Grad can get the wrestling going. I mean, absolutely can win. Absolutely. Kyoji Horiguchi versus Taigir Ulanbekov. I'm going back and forth on this one. I don't know what to make of that. I'm going to go with Taigir, but I'm going to go decision. I'm not confident. It could be a finish for Taigir. I hate this because I don't trust Taigir's weight cut at this weight class. I honestly think Kyoji Horiguchi is a better fighter. If I'm being honest with you, he's at 125 again. Although Taigir's huge. I mean, I won't be. His durability is fading a little bit. Horiguchi, and I mean, Taigir that can hit hard. I think those takedowns that not Horiguchi, Taigir can land is going to be huge for him here, because I think it's an easier way to get to Horiguchi rather than like the legs, because he's more like upper level takedowns. And Horiguchi's style is like it's leaves. There's not much room for errors. He's really good. He is really good. But because of that, it's like in this country where I do get worried about the judges. Like, I think Taigir might even get like the sway, because he is a kind of a weasel. Taigir. I'm not super high on Taigir. I don't think he's that great. Which says a lot, because I do think Kyoji's pretty great. Well, I'm talking about like in terms of like the upper levels of this division. I don't think either of these guys are going to be able to do much, sadly, as much as I would like Horiguchi too, because I love Horiguchi. I love the way he fights. I kind of think this is a tough fight for Horiguchi. I don't know, but I want nothing to do with this, because I do think Horiguchi's the better fighter. I won't be shocked if he does win. But I think Tiger is probably going to be able to get some takedowns here and find ways to land bigger shots than Kyoji. So I guess I go Tiger, but man, I want nothing to do with this. Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Shamil Gaziev. I hate this fight. Crazy that Waldo stepping in, by the way. Kind of crazy. So we got 3 days short notice. Waldo versus Gaziev. You know what? I'm gonna go Gaziev. My fade for Waldo is I'm gonna fade him till I die. But my call is Gaziev wins by robbery decision. Because I think Waldo's probably still gonna have his volume. Honestly, if this is like full notice, I'd probably go Waldo here, but I'm not sure how he's gonna look. So I think this has a robbery. It absolutely can be a robbery for Gaziev. Gaziev's gonna be landing the better shot, bigger, better shots. Waldo's like, and I don't know if they're gonna score that well, because I don't think he should score that well in many of his fights, to be honest. So I think Gaziev is honestly live. I think he can maybe even get some wrestling going in this fight. I think Waldo's just so underwhelming, so nothing to me. He's proven to me he's got a good chin. That's kind of about it. But I'll take anyone against Waldo. Not anyone, but I'm willing to take a shot on Gaziev as an underdog. I don't hate it. The worst thing ever. But I mean, I do think this fight probably. I mean, I'd probably have like a small bet on Gaziev moneyline. I'm not betting much on this fight at all, and maybe some like Gaziev by split decision, because absolutely can be like something like that, and I'd love to be right on him winning a robbery. But I'm not that confident in this. Like I 3 days short notice is crazy. I know this is heavyweight, but like flying across the world from Arizona to Qatar, like that's a pretty tall task in my opinion. So I am ultimately going to go with Gaziev. I would have went with Spivak. I had money on Spivak to win this fight, but against Gaziev. But I mean, it is what it is. Like, sadly, he's out. But Waldo does not bring the same sort of things to the table, where I don't think he's going to be doing any sort of wrestling or grappling at all. So, I mean, with that in mind, I think Gaziev's absolutely live to win this fight. Jack Hermansson versus Mittelbeck Oralby. What is this fight? I don't know what to make of this fight. Give me Oralby by decision, but I wouldn't be shocked if Hermansson wins this fight. I don't know how he's going to look on the scales. If it's even going to make weight, I don't know. What if this is 180 catch weight? This is 180 catch weight. I'm switching my pick to Hermansson. It's kind of unbelievable. I have so much trouble picturing this fight, if I'm being genuinely honest. I mean, I think Hermansson's is pretty. He can grapple with the best of them. I will say that. So like, I want nothing to do with this. I want no bets on Oralby, no bets on Hermansson unless I get some crazy number or something like that. The Hermansson sub number is kind of crazy because Oralby is always going to be going for wrestling and subs like that. And like Hermansson does have a nasty guillotine. He's gonna be the way bigger guy now. Good heel hooks. He's got good subs. I mean, maybe he's bigger now. He could land a big punch at Oralby, and Oralby just goes down. So, like, who knows? Now Oralby's up a weight class, and Hermansson's down a weight class. But he has more power at 170. I don't know. Perhaps Oralby just knocks Hermansson out because Hermansson's less water in the brain and just gets put out again after that bat. I mean, this is a pretty quick turnaround from the RoboCop KO. It's kind of crazy. I have no idea why Hermansson's at 170. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this fight at all. Pass for me. I guess I'd lean Oralby. I think he'd get top position to hold it, but what do you want me to do with this? Pass. Volkan Oezdemir versus Alonzo Menifield. How did Alonzo get this fight? I think Volkan should win pretty easily. I think I like his minus 3.5, honestly. Because I just think he's just way better technically than Alonzo Menifield. He's absolutely live to just get a finish on Alonzo. And I mean, when is Volkan getting his finishes? Is it usually like in round 1? This is round 1. This was round 1. Off the top of my head, most of them have been round 1. So I'm going to go round 1. It could be a decision, though. But I think if this fight goes the distance, Volkan's going to be winning all the exchanges for the most part because he's just way better technically than Alonzo, who's just only way I can see him winning this fight is if he bonks Uzdemir or he drops him twice. Like, that's the only way I can see him win this fight. Like, twice in 2 different rounds. But, I mean, Volkan's too clean. He's just too clean. I think this is pretty open and shut. Should be Volkan all day. I think he gets this done pretty easily. I don't really see how this can... I mean, unless he gets bonked, which, I mean, it's possible. Alonzo hits pretty hard, but he's just way better. And if Alonzo's trying to hit you really hard to knock you out, Volkan's going to be positioned to do the same to you. So, I like the -3.5 look for Volkan. Honestly, the money line is probably all right to parlay. But yeah. Bilal Muhammad versus Ian Machado Gary. How about that Ian Gary? Always been high on Ian Gary, and that does not stop here. I love Ian Gary. I think he's super legit. And yeah, I'm going to go with round 2 or 3K. I'm going to go 2. I think it's a finish here. I like the -3.5 for Ian Gary as well here. I think he's got all the upside, and I think he's going to present a lot of problems for Bilal. Why does he present problems for Bilal? Very good takedown defense. Very good movement. Very good fight IQ. Like, Bilal has very good fight IQ. So does Ian Gary. And I think the speed and the footwork is going to be such a difference maker compared to, like, how Leon did against Bilal. Because I think Ian Gary has also pretty good takedown defense, and I think he's got good get-up abilities. And I think that's going to be so huge here against Bilal. And I think it's going to piece up Bilal, honestly. I think it's the truth. I think this guy is a future champion. Like, I really do believe that. Ian Gary's him, man. So I think he's the truth, and I mean, he can maybe even get a back take. Although I don't think his offensive wrestling is necessarily the best thing ever. Defensive wrestling, pretty good. Yeah, I like Ian Gary. I think he's very live to get a finish here against Bilal. I think he's kind of going to start falling off the cliff, and I'm a Bilal non-believer. I've always been. Ian Gary, I think is super legit, and he knows exactly what type of fight is coming into. I love the interviews where he's analyzing how Bilal's talking about the fight. He's like, yeah, this guy's BSing. He's gonna wrestle me. He would have more confidence about what he's saying if he actually meant it. Gary's gonna piece him up, and I think the head kick is live there. So yeah, give me Ian Gary to win this fight. Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker. What is there to say? Tsarukyan, easy finish. I think he should get this done. I'll give Hooker some credit. I'll go round 3 KO. TKO. I think it's going to be the elbows landing from Tsarukyan. It's going to be too much, and Hooker's just going to go like this, and then the fight probably just gets stopped. I think it's going to be similar-ish to the Joel Alvarez fight, if I had to ask. And maybe even the Gamrot fight for the Hooker. And what I mean by the Gamrot fight is Arman's going to be able to get those same takedowns. He's going to get a lot of those takedowns. He's just going to do a lot more damage. And that's a fight I thought Gamrot already won. I don't think Hooker's going to have too many moments on the feet. I don't think he's going to have much of a chance on the feet. Arman Tsarukyan's really good on the feet, too. People forget that body kick. It's going to be there for him against Hooker. Arman Tsarukyan is the truth. He's the guy in this division. I think he's the best in this division. Arman Tsarukyan's that dude. I already have money on him. I bet him pretty early. I think he's value. When I bet him, so maybe not now. Like, it's kind of the line's kind of ridiculous now, but Tsarukyan is the truth, man. This guy is here to win, and he's here to get his title shot. I think Tsarukyan gets it done. Yep. That is that. We can go over each fight's more 6 strikes, more takedown bets. So let's go over them. This fight, Freeman more 6 strikes. I guess more takedowns, Marek, because I think it's going to be the one more so going for them, but I don't want anything to do with that. But I guess more 6 strikes, Freeman. More takedowns, Aliev, all day. And then I guess 6 strikes can go either way. I guess if it goes how I think it does, Aliev be landing more, but nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. Nardiev, Loader. I think Nardiev 6 strikes is probably pretty all right because he's just that first whatever amount of time in round 1 this fight goes, he's going to be landing. He's going to be landing those 6 strikes easily. More takedowns. I mean, I guess Loader. It has to be Loader, right? I don't think I don't want to say I don't think Nardiev's going to go for it because I know he will. He's dumb. You can't trust him. But But more takedowns has to be Loader. Like if they're wrestling, it has to be Loader. But I want nothing to do with the more takedown bet. More 6 strikes. I do think Nardiev's a good bet there. Although it's probably not the best odds. Beksa Almakhan, Alexander Topuria. It's interesting. Like, I don't know. Because they're not the most, like, volume minute guys either way. Like, maybe more 6 strikes Topuria lands a little bit more. I guess more takedowns Topuria, because if this fight goes how I think it will, it's going to be a lot more Topuria shooting than necessarily trying to mess with Almakhan on the feet. But, I mean, I know Beksa can shoot too, so I don't know. But that's going off tape, and neither of these guys really fought the best competition outside the UFC. I don't know. Yakayev, more 6 strikes, more takedowns. Simple. Yakayev. Asu, more takedowns easily, and then more 6 strikes. It could go kind of either way. I guess I'll lean Asu, but I want nothing to do with 6 strikes. More takedowns, Asu all day. This one's interesting. Is Gakimaya? I mean, because if Dalby paces him, he could outland the 6 strikes. I don't know. I want nothing to do with either of these. I guess if I had to pick, is Gakmayev more takedowns? Dalby more 6 strike. I mean, is Gakmayev? I'll say more 6 strike, but because I think there's a chance he deads him. But I want nothing to do with this either way. Riley, more takedowns for sure. Riley probably more 6 strikes. He's gonna be able to dead him. I mean, there's a possibility of Grad out 6 strikes him, just dies, and you get the 6 strike bet with Grad. But I definitely like this more takedowns Grad, because I mean that's what he's gonna be doing. Horiguchi Tigir. I think Horiguchi 6 strikes is probably a pretty alright look, because he's gonna just dart in and out. That's the Horiguchi way. But more takedowns, probably Tigir. I do think he'll probably be able to get some on Kyoji. So yeah. Waldo Shamil. If this goes super long and Waldo's not gassed from 3 days short notice, it's gonna be Waldo all day. But more takedowns, I guess Gaziv. I don't think Waldo's gonna be shooting no takedowns. So yeah. Hermanson, Orobai. What do you want me? More takedowns, Orobai, I guess. Although Hermanson's not gonna be easy to take down. Maybe, I don't know. We've seen him do wrestling matches with the Hamzat and like compete. So I'm for Hermanson. So there's that. More 6 strikes, maybe. I mean, Orobai has a crazy gas tank, and maybe Hermanson's gas tank fails him at 170. So I guess I'll go Orobai, but I don't know, man. I nothing to do with this fight. I want nothing to do with this fight. Volkan Oezdemir on to Minifield. Oezdemir more 6 strikes. I feel pretty good about that. More takedowns. I guess Alonso's more willing to go for them, but I don't think he's gonna get any. I like Volkan 6 strikes. Bilal Muhammad, Ian Gary. I'll go with 6 strikes, Ian Gary, because I think he's gonna just not be there to be hit by Bilal pretty much at any point in this fight. And I'll go more takedowns can kind of go either way. It's like if you don't think Bilal will get any takedowns, I would say Gary, because I think Gary absolutely can get a takedown on Bilal. But if you do think Bilal gets some takedowns, which you know what, I think he might get a few. It's Bilal more takedowns. So I'll go with Bilal more takedowns, but I'm not crazy about that. More 6 strikes, Ian Gary for sure. Arman Tsarukyan, Dan Hooker, and I should say Bilal Muhammad has insane takedown defense. Even if like Leon Edwards took him down, Leon Edwards is really good. Don't get that twisted. See, his takedown defense is pretty insane. So it won't be easy for Gary to get that. So yeah, I'll go more takedowns Bilal. Arman Tsarukyan, Dan Hooker, more takedowns Arman, more 6 strikes Arman. Simple as that. So yeah, there we go. That's it for the picks on the card, the bets on the card as well. So yeah. You can check me out at betmma.tips, champ bets, and we'll be back again for the next UFC card, 323, Merab Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan. I'm very excited for that card. I might be going. I'm not sure. We will see. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Peace. Have a great one.